Again, everybody, I'm Chris. I'm all set to count them down the week's 40 most popular country songs in the nation as they're ranked each week by MediaBase 24/7 for the chart week of August 5th, 2023. Got one debut this week. We'll get to that one shortly. First, here's a look back at last week's top three. At number 3 was Last Night by Morgan Wallen. Number 2 was Need a Favor by Jelly Roll. And the number 1 song for the second week was Fast Car by Luke Combs. Now, can Luke stay at number 1 for a third week? We'll find out soon. Right now, we'll get started with this week's only debut. It's a brand new one by Chris Stapleton. The debuts at number 40 with White Horse. With that one debut, one song drops off this week, and that's We Don't Fight Anymore. Slipping back a spot to number 39, here's Hardy with Truck Bed. Slipping a spot to number 38, Darius Rucker with Fires Don't Start Themselves. In his second week in the countdown, he's up 2 to number 37, Nate Smith with World on Fire. Slipping back a spot to number 36, Brian Kelly with See You Next Summer. Back a spot to number 35, here's Gabby Barrett with Glory Days. Dropping back a spot to number 34, Riley Green and Luke Combs with Different Round Here. In just their second week in the countdown, they're up 3 to number 33, Dan and Shay with Save Me the Trouble. At number 32 for his second week, it's Chase Beckham with 23. And at number 31, again this week, George Burge and Mind on You. In his 14th week in the countdown, he spends a fourth week at number 30, Jackson Dean with Fearless. At number 29, again this week, Brothers Osborne with Nobody's Nobody. At number 28 for his second week, Connor Smith with Creek Will Rise. At number 27 for his second week, Mitchell Tenpenny with We Got History. For the third week in a row, at number 26, Ashley McBride with Light On in the Kitchen. Slipping back a spot to number 25, Chris Jansen with All I Need Is You. Moving up one to number 24, just this ninth week in the countdown, it's Jason Aldean with Try That in a Small Town. At number 23 for his second week, Dustin Lynch with Stars Like Confetti. Slipping back a spot to number 22, Dylan Scott with Can't Have Mine. And number 21, moving up one, it's Morgan Wallen with Everything I Love. In her 20th week in the countdown, she spends the second week at number 20, Kelsey Ballerini with If You Go Down. Slipping back a spot to number 19, Russell Dickerson with God Gave Me a Girl. Slipping a spot to number 18, it's Hailey Whitters and Everything She Ain't. In just her 8th week on the chart, she's up 2 to number 17, Lainey Wilson with Watermelon Moonshine. Slipping a spot to number 16, Tim McGraw with Standing Room Only. Slipping back 2 spots to 15, Cole Swindell with Drink-A-Bye. In just his 11th week in the countdown, he's up 2 spots to number 14, Luke Bryan with But I Got a Beer in My Hand. Up 1 to number 13, Chris Young with Looking for You. Holding steady at number 12 in his 11th week on the chart, Bailey Zimmerman with Religiously. And the song has been on the chart the longest at 37 weeks, holding for a second week at number 11, Parmalee with Girl in Mine. Right, leading off the top 10, Thomas Rhett for a second week in a row. He's at number 10 with Angels. Here's one that's showing some serious staying power. Holding on at number 9 for another week, it's Tyler Hubbard with Dancing in the Country. Holding steady at number 8, Kane Brown with Bury Me in Georgia. Spending another week at number 7, the latest by John Party called Your Heart or Mine. At number 6 again this week, it's Luke Combs with Love You Anyway. Here's a recent number 1 hit, holding steady at number 5, Jordan Davis with Next Thing You Know. Here's a former number 1, down a spot to number 4, Morgan Wallen with Last Night. Trading places with Morgan moving up 1 to number 3, it's Justin Moore with Priscilla Block called You, Me, and Whiskey. Well, after 2 weeks at number 1, he's on his way down, slipping to number 2, it's Luke Combs with Fast Car. And the new number 1 song in country music this week, taking 24 weeks to get here, and this becomes his second number 1 country hit, Jason DeFord, better known to his country fans as Jelly Roll. His tune's called Need a Favor. Thanks for listening, I'm Chris. See you next time.